Hi everyone, I'm Alina, a 40-year-old social worker with a passion for helping troubled youth. I've been happily married to James for 15 years, and while we've built a good life together, there's always been a void. We couldn't have children of our own. It was painful, but after years of reflection, we decided to adopt. That's when Mia entered our lives, a 14-year-old girl with a tough history in foster care. James, are we really ready for this? I remember asking him the night before Mia moved in. He squeezed my hand and said, "We've got this, Elena. We'll give her the family she deserves." The first few months were anything but easy. Mia was distant, slamming doors and giving us the silent treatment, but I refused to give up. One day, I knocked on her door and asked, "Hey, Mia, want to go shopping?" She looked at me like I was crazy. "Why? So you can pretend to be my mom?" "Nope," I replied, "so I can see your style in action, maybe even steal some tips." That got a small smile out of her. It was progress, a tiny step forward. Slowly, I thought we were becoming a real family, but James was spending more and more time at work. Another late night? I'd ask, and he'd respond without even looking up from his phone. "Big project, honey. You understand." Thank goodness for Olivia, my best friend, who became my rock through it all. "You're doing amazing with Mia," she told me over coffee one morning. "I can see how much she's opening up to you." I beamed with pride. It wasn't easy, but it felt worth it. But then came the parent-teacher meetings. Mia was struggling in school. Determined to help, I advocated for her. "Mrs. Johnson, Mia has so much potential. She just needs extra support," I insisted to her English teacher. We developed a plan, and I started to feel like things were finally coming together. Mia's 15th birthday arrived, and I threw her a party. As I snapped a picture of us, I thought, this is it. We're finally a real family, but I had no idea what was coming next. One afternoon, while folding laundry, I couldn't shake a nagging feeling. Mia had been acting distant, more secretive than usual. At first, I chalked it up to teenage mood swings, but something felt off. "Mia, honey, is everything okay?" I called, knocking on her bedroom door. "I'm fine. Can I get some privacy?" she snapped. As I stepped back, I noticed a crumpled piece of paper in her jeans pocket. Curious, I pulled it out, a detention slip for skipping class with someone named Zoe. Later that night, I tried to talk to James about it. "I'm worried about Mia," I said. He barely glanced up from his phone. "She's a teenager, Elena. This is normal. Can we talk about it later? I've got a big presentation tomorrow." Frustration bubbled inside me, but I let it go. The next day, I confronted Mia about the detention. "Big mistake. You went through my stuff. What's wrong with you?" she screamed. "I'm just trying to help," I said, keeping my voice calm. "I don't need your help. You're not my real mom, remember?" Her words cut deep, and we argued until she stormed out, slamming the door so hard a picture fell off the wall. Little did I know, that fight was just the calm before the storm. The next morning, I got a call from Mia's school. My heart sank as I listened to the principal's voice. "Mrs. Harrison, we need you to come in immediately. There's been an accusation." Sitting in the principal's office, I felt like the world was spinning as a CPS worker explained that Mia had accused me of physical abuse. "This is absurd." I stammered. "I would never." But the CPS worker remained stone-faced. "We have to take all accusations seriously," she said. When I got home, James was waiting for me, anger etched on his face. "How could you, Elena?" he demanded. "James, please, you know I'd never hurt Mia," I pleaded, but he wasn't listening. "I think you should leave," he said, running his hands through his hair. "James, no, please." "Just go, until we figure this out," he said coldly. I packed a bag with trembling hands, tears streaming down my face. As I walked toward the door, I caught a glimpse of Mia standing at the top of the stairs. For a brief moment, I thought I saw regret in her eyes, but it quickly vanished, replaced by a cold, unfeeling stare. I ended up on Olivia's doorstep, a sobbing mess. "Oh, honey," she said, pulling me into her arms. "We'll figure this out, I promise." As I lay on her couch that night, unable to sleep, one thought raced through my mind. How did everything fall apart so quickly? And more importantly, how on earth am I going to fix this? I woke up on Olivia's couch, my eyes puffy from crying. For a moment, I hoped it had all been a bad dream. But the ache in my chest told me otherwise. This was my new reality, and I had no choice but to face it head on. "We need a plan," Olivia said over coffee. "You can't just sit back and let them destroy your life." She was right. I nodded, feeling a new sense of determination rising within me. "I'm going to fight this." My first step was hiring a private investigator. I scraped together what money I had and found Marcus, a no-nonsense ex-cop known for uncovering the truth. "Tell me everything," he said, pen poised over a notepad. I didn't hold back. I spilled it all: Mia's troubled past, her recent behavior, James's growing distance. As I spoke, Marcus's brow furrowed. "This doesn't add up," he muttered. "I've seen false accusations before. Let me dig into Mia's background." While Marcus worked his magic, I launched my own investigation. I reached out to Mia's former foster parents, my heart pounding with each call. "Elena." "Yeah, we remember Mia," one foster mom said, her voice heavy. "Sweet girl, but she had a habit of making up stories when things didn't go her way." A pattern began to emerge. Mia had done this before. The realization was both heartbreaking and infuriating. Olivia helped me gather evidence: photos, texts, even a video of Mia and me laughing at her birthday party. "Look at this," Olivia said, pointing to the screen. "Does this look like an abusive relationship to you?" I shook my head, tears welling up. Why would she do this? The answer came in an unexpected way. While gathering some clothes from home when James was out, I accidentally knocked over his laptop. As I picked it up, the screen flickered, revealing an email from someone named Amber. My stomach churned as I read the flirtatious messages between them. "Son of a," I muttered, my hands shaking with anger. Just then, my phone buzzed. It was Marcus. "Hey, I've got something. Mia's been texting with a girl named Zoe. You're not going to believe what I found." He sent screenshots of their conversations. My jaw dropped as I read the messages. Zoe encouraging Mia to make up the abuse story. "It'll be easier to do whatever you want. Trust me, I've done it before." The pieces were starting to fall into place, but I still didn't understand why. That's when I got a call from an unexpected source: Mia's therapist. "Mrs. Harrison, I'm breaking confidentiality because I'm concerned," she said. "Mia admitted in our last session that she made up the abuse. She said she felt neglected by your husband and thought this would force him to pay attention." My heart broke all over again. In trying to get her father's attention, Mia had torn our family apart. Armed with all this evidence, I prepared a file for Child Protective Services. As I organized everything, I felt a bittersweet mix of vindication and sadness. I was going to clear my name, but at what cost? "You ready for this?" Olivia asked as we drove to the CPS office. I took a deep breath. As ready as I'll ever be. It's time for the truth to come out. Walking into the CPS office felt like marching into battle. My hands were trembling, but my voice stayed steady as I presented the evidence. "I understand this is a lot to take in," I said, watching the CPS worker's eyes widen as she flipped through the file. "But I hope this proves my innocence." Hours of questioning followed. It was exhausting, but I held my ground. Finally, they agreed to reevaluate the case. The next day, I got a call I never expected. It was James. "Elena, we need to talk. Can you come home?" I steeled myself as I walked through the front door. Mia was there, her eyes red and swollen from crying. James looked like he hadn't slept in days. "Mia has something to say," James said, his voice cracking. Mia stepped forward, tears streaming down her face. I'm sorry," she sobbed. I lied. "You never hurt me. I wanted Dad to notice me." The confession hit me like a ton of bricks. I wanted to be angry, to scream, but seeing her so broken, all I felt was exhaustion. "Why didn't you just talk to us?" I asked, my voice weary. "I tried," Mia cried. "But Dad was always working, and you're not my real mom. I thought if I caused trouble, he'd finally pay attention." James hung his head in shame. "I've been a terrible father and husband." That's when I dropped my own bombshell. "Speaking of being a terrible husband, want to tell me about Amber?" His face went pale. "How did you?" "It doesn't matter." I cut him off. "What matters is that we're done. I'm filing for divorce." The next few weeks were a whirlwind. Mia was mandated to attend intensive therapy. James moved out, his affair exposed at work, leaving his reputation in shambles. As for me, I focused on healing. I started a support group for falsely accused parents. Turns out, my story wasn't as unique as I thought. "You're so strong," one woman told me after a meeting. "How did you get through it?" I thought for a moment. "One day at a time," I said, "and by remembering that their actions don't define me." 2 years flew by. I threw myself into my work, helping families navigate situations like mine. It wasn't easy, but it was fulfilling. One crisp fall morning, I was sorting through my mail when I saw it, a letter from Mia. My heart raced as I opened it. "Dear Elena, I know it's been a long time, and you probably hate me. I don't blame you. What I did was unforgivable. I'm in college now, studying psychology. I want to help people like me, people who make terrible mistakes. I'm so sorry for what I did to you. You deserve better. I hope one day you can forgive me. Love, Mia." I sat there, letter in hand, tears rolling down my cheeks. Part of me wanted to reach out and say I forgave her. But another part, a stronger part, knew that some bridges can't be rebuilt. I folded the letter and put it away. Maybe someday I'd be ready to respond, but for now I was focused on my new life and my new purpose. I had survived the worst betrayal imaginable and come out stronger on the other side. As I headed out to my support group meeting, I smiled to myself. Life had thrown me one hell of a curveball, but I hit it out of the park. And you know what? I was just getting started. Now, as this story comes to an end, I have a question for you. If you were in my shoes, would you forgive Mia for her false accusation? Or do you believe some betrayals are too severe to ever truly forgive? This is a tough one, isn't it? There's no easy answer. Share your thoughts in the comments below.